Hi everybody. It would appear that summer is cancelled this year in the UK. So I thought, well, now's a good time to be talking about that classic issue in sales of activity. I had a fascinating conversation with a client last week about what is the right level of activity that a team, both in account management and sales, should keep up on a regular basis. It turns out they measure activity pretty well in their CRM, but we're actually unconvinced of the value of doing so. So I guess my first question to them was, how do they then measure the output of that activity? What does it turn into in terms of number of opportunities, and how do they measure that? Behind that question, of course, was the answer. And the ideal activity rate is, of course, the rate that gets you to the ideal number of opportunities, whether that's new business or indeed renewal conversations, to meet your objectives. And I know that's common sense, of course, but unless you've got data to substantiate that ideal activity equation, then it's just really guesswork. And for me, the ideal number of new opportunity meetings, say with existing customers or new business, per week is between 5 and 6, accumulated across the year. And then they asked me two really interesting questions. The number one was, do I prefer quantity over quality? And my answer is a bit of a fudge, really, is that I use quantity to overcome the quality issue, which means if I've got enough quantity in my meetings, then I can spend the whole time adding new conversations and also phase out those conversations that are going nowhere. And the second question was, do I prefer intense bouts of activity or a more consistent approach across the working year? And the answer is an easy one. That's the second. That's a consistent approach right across the year, every single time. Reason being, running at the 5 or 6 meetings per week right across the year gives me the ability to prepare well, and also it just keeps the flywheel of momentum really, really humming along for me. One final point to end with there is that the importance and value of activity on a regular basis needs to be really well understood within your team, so much so that it becomes table stakes in your business. And the great thing about that is the output then for sales leadership meetings is not questions around how much activity did the team do this week. It's more around what new opportunities did they create from their activity. So just taking the need to do activity completely off the agenda. Hope that helps.